After figuring out that they are the last two members of their home tribe left alive, John Bravestarr and his master Shaman, who is basically a shaman, flee from their homeworld on their tribe's ship. The shaman and Bravestarr had to flee because their homeworld got attacked by a mysterious entity that wiped out their tribe. The members of this Native American tribe had superhuman abilities and had inherited the powers of different animals. While escaping, their ship got attacked by the same mysterious force which was later revealed to be an evil animal spirit of mass destruction known as Stampede. The shaman ejected Bravestarr out of the ship through an escape pod and crash-landed onto a planet called New Texas. This planet was inhabited by short, mole-rat-esque people who mined the planet for a valuable ore called carium. This ore was used to power all things, including weaponry. Once people got wind of what this ore could do, they flocked to the planet from the far corners of the galaxy, and that's when we were introduced to the main antagonist of the series, Tex-Hex. He had gotten magical powers after showing Stampede his evil resolve, who enlisted his help in his plan to wreak havoc upon the entire universe. Getting all the greedy people onto the planet, Tex-Hex launched an attack on the main colony of the planet, Fort Carium. Amidst the chaos, the mayor sent out an SOS requesting for any available backup to come and protect the colony. Instead of sending an army, the space marshals decide to send out only one man. Lo and behold, the one man who'll save the colony is none other than John Marshal Bravestarr. He sets out to the planet along with his lover, Judge J.B. McBride, to restore law and order where it is needed. Upon reaching the planet, he instantly gets stunned and downed by Tex-Hex, and is put on an out-of-control bike to crash and die. McBride, however, gets saved by one of the mole men, and Bravestarr somehow survives and wakes up in a cave. Looking around, he sees the shaman, and they both share a touching reunion. After collecting themselves and getting on the same page, the shaman now unlocks the latent powers inside Bravestarr. He gets the hearing of a wolf, the strength of a bear, the speed of a puma, and the eyes of an eagle. With these powers, he can now rival Tex-Hex, but the shaman tells him there's still another weapon that he must obtain. The shaman points to a far-off ridge, and Bravestarr wastes no time and heads straight for the indicated location. Upon arriving, he sees a temple with statues overlooking the entrance. Going inside, he finds a mechanical horse, whom he mocks at first. Hearing his degrading remarks, the mechanical horse takes the form of a human with a horse's head and attacks Bravestarr. This horseman called himself 3030 and carried a blunderbuss which could be considered the actual weapon the shaman was talking about. However, after a series of exchange blows and mutual trade-offs, the two characters shake hands and set out to the town to battle Tex-Hex. The fight was anticlimactic as Tex-Hex was flung out of the colony by a single rocket punch from Bravestarr, who began celebrating his victory. However, Stampede wasn't about to let that slide, and he summoned forth an army of spirit animals to destroy Fort Carium. But Shaman wasn't about to give Bravestarr all the glory, so he mustered up his strength to deal a final blow on Stampede and his army. However, he got shot down, and his scepter was flung to the side. Fort Carium was protected by walls that the townsfolk and J.B. McBride had put up, so Bravestarr made a beeline towards the place where the shaman got struck. At that point, Tex-Hex, who was clearly not defeated, rose up once again and took the form of a flying, flaming skull to give chase to Bravestarr, who was already zooming with the speed of a puma. He got intercepted by Tex-Hex and was thrown to the ground in front of a cliff. The perfect setting for a final battle between the two. However, the battle wasn't even that prolonged, as Bravestarr summoned the strength of a bear into his hand and crushed the foot of Tex-Hex as he approached his fallen body. In a gut-wrenching screech, Tex-Hex was rendered immobile and thrown to the side. With the obstacle finally out of the way, Bravestarr got to where the scepter had fallen and used all his spirit animal powers to infuse it with magical essence, powerful enough to defeat Stampede once and for all. In a dramatic end, the scepter was thrown as a spear towards the enormous figure of Stampede, and he eventually receded to the pain and shrunk into oblivion, taking all his evil spirit animals with him, including the evil initiator of the whole altercation, Tex-Hex. With the disaster looming over Fort Carium dealt with and the shaman healed, Bravestarr gave the authority of looking over the town to a mole person who McBride had been with, and set off with his newfound best friend 3030 and McBride to fight and restore law and order to any other parts of the universe that might need his assistance.